Did you know that according to the National Library of Medicine, color blindness affects 1 in 12 males, but only 1 of 200 females? Hi, I'm Margie Haynes, and today I'm going to talk about color blindness. I want to inform you about some misunderstandings about the disorder and give examples to help others gain more insight to color blindness. Today, I'm going to discuss color blindness, its causes, the different types of color blindness, what contributes to it, and how it may affect your psychology. As a female, I learned at the age of 30 that I was colorblind. I went for a physical for a new employment opportunity and I failed the test. They give you a book and it has some of these in the book, and you are to find the number very vibrant, like this 12 here. Well, I failed. So I asked the lady, what does this mean? Because I've never failed before. And she informed me that she didn't know what it meant either because she's never had somebody fail before. So she and I went to talk to her senior nurse on staff, and I overheard him saying that that's impossible. Females don't go colorblind. And immediately I was like, I'm colorblind? So he went and got a new book and opened it up. He wanted to make sure that it was a fresh, vibrant book and that it wasn't an old, faded one, and that was what's causing me to fail. So he opens it up and we start my test again. Unfortunately, I still ended up failing. By this point, I had 5 or 6 other employees around me telling me to trace it and that they would help me. And couldn't trace it. I just couldn't see the numbers. I couldn't form it completely to trace it for them to help me. Thankfully, he marked me as passing because he was under that impression that females do not go colorblind. As we just learned, 1 of 200 females do in fact go colorblind. So let's understand colorblindness. Colorblindness, otherwise known as color vision deficiency, is a vision impairment that affects how people perceive colors. It makes it difficult to differentiate between colors. It's not the inability to see colors entirely. Some causes of color blindness, according to the National Eye Institute, excuse me, is genetics. Genetics is the most common reason why people have color blindness deficiencies. Other reasonings are diseases or injuries to the eye or the brain, which can cause your brain not to associate colors correctly, or medications as a potential side effect. Males also had a higher risk due to genetic factors associated with the X chromosome. So I did eventually see an eye doctor who did inform me that I was only the second female of his career to ever be colorblind, and he was an older gentleman, so he had been in the medical field for a while. But he also informed me that because I am a female that is colorblind, I would then pass colorblind X chromosomes to my male children who have even higher chance of being colorblind. So let's talk about some types of color blindness. So behind me is some examples from the color blindness test. As I said, it'll just be in a little booklet. You are to take this test. You have 3 seconds to recognize your numbers, and it's supposed to be without coaching, touching, or tracing. So I would have failed either way when I was 30. So we have our red greens, which is your most common. You can say red green or green red, it's interchangeable. We have different types of those. We have the dutane, which is the most common type of red green color vision deficiency. It makes certain shades of green look more red. Then we have the protein, which usually makes more shades of red look more green. So for me, as I'm driving, excuse me, as I'm driving down the road and the trees that are supposed to have like some red leaves, I just see them as plain green. But sometimes I don't see greens at all, so I'm a little bit of both. So if you have both protan and dutane, it makes someone unable to see the difference between red and greens. So a lot of these are going to be associated with the red and green because that's the most common type of color blindness. But then we also have blue-yellow, which is trinomally, which makes it hard to see the difference between blue and green and yellow and reds, which will be this bubble and these bubbles because they are within the blue shade family. This guy's a little tricky. This is supposed to have 3 numbers in it. I only see the 2 numbers. Then we have the monochromacy, which is where you don't see colors at all, and that's going to be associated with this guy up here. It's just going to be gray. So most people think that if you're colorblind, you just don't see colors at all, which is inaccurate, as well as it being impossible for females to go colorblind. So colorblindness just means you just don't perceive colors the same. You can still see colors, just not the same. It's very rare to go completely gray color vision. Now, there are some other variants. You have brightness and light sensitivities. So, like with your protein, it also makes things look less bright, so everything looks more dull. And looking at certain things can physically cause pain to the eyes as it's trying to focus on what we're looking at. So, let's talk about color blindness affecting our psychology. Colors impact our emotions, our thoughts, and our behaviors according to the Tap Point article that I read. Color and emotion responses are subconscious. It's not something that we intend to do. Different colors evoke different emotions or thoughts. Have you ever heard the expression feeling blue? It's because blue is associated with sadness. Now, every color has multiple associations. It just doesn't mean you're sad just because you're blue. Like warm colors, we have orange, red, and yellows. Those are associated with happiness, energy, and love. And then we have green, which is nature, calm, and peace. Marketing and advertising, companies use this in their marketing and advertising when they advertise or make logos. They use the color and contrast to target particular responses when purchasing their products. Take example, the Coca-Cola. It's the bright red, it's bold, it's eye-catching, it kind of draws you in. Now, if you didn't want to be so bold and you wanted to have something more calm, say like a therapy, a facility, you would have more greens for like the calming to just kind of relax your patients. So today I have discussed color blindness, its causes, the different types of color blindness, and how it affects our psychology and everyday lives. With so many colors around us impacting our daily emotions, stresses, and finances, I challenge you to go online or see your eye doctor to take a color vision test. Discover, have you been affected without knowing it? I was affected until I was 30 without knowing. While colorblindness may seem like a mild disorder, especially compared to some of the fatal disorders, we have seen here that something we take for granted, such as seeing colors, can have a profound physical and psychological effect. Thank you.